I discipline myself.
Yeah.
For the sake of the company.
But where can it be found?
And they be no found me you already.
Upeni for the be no found.
Nipa be say 5. I could prove say one that me you already. Obano co school cry. Obenya ne grace cry no. Ye na da all the answer. And onya ne grace always say abontin. Enti okita the trump card. Na ase. No na dance.
About for we. Upeni for no your money.
And that na obremu o man adwuma. Say ye di ba na ye di kwa.
Enti that just a continuous assessment.
Your friend no Umaru Diko.
And then
Umaru Diko. Say ye Diko. But the way the bank was closed, I'm sure Fifi you heard about it. And opa hemachi. Before 6, na police for any media for I call ama ye bubu UT signages into senior bosumbia yachi no say bia akofo obire
enema o bank no cry a collapse here.
Mainly hard facts, but it's interesting because these are so-called Achim people, and I'm an Achim man, and I was friends with all of them. So for them to come to power and do what they did without even consulting the Kofi Bertrand, say, "Lose how your bank is going bad," and you know whatever. What you say, personal hatred or an agenda.
Adafunom Yewura Prince Kofi Amoabe no Ghanaian businessman no science so a former military officer edema Ghanaian Armed Forces no ebiemu so no na oye co-founder edema UT Banka 2017 no e collapse ye na ye papa yi ekopie mu e wo Fifi Pracho so e wo Kingdom FM na wo den sam do na e na tudwa e fa UT Bank abro na gina nan so no na wo kire mu se wo de enema bebre na e na tutu akwan mu sane be ya adwuma no betimi akoso wano nto hyemra say so no bia ene no yonko andeda e wa adwuma mu ho na science ono so mu mra ne so nti no oba ba kokre ne ho no ma one no edaaye nanso ne mpanifo no de na omo ne ma no edada na ne o chew so na so evidence na so obibi a kire sei na wo ye wa adwuma mu ho so de na wapam one sam do na e na eto from yenkoi na yenkotie Yewura Kofi Amoaben emra
ade ba akoso a ye pese mo mpanifo sei no ha youth na adwen pa wo mo kire say especially a man no obi akọ school enya nimude no mo ne ade ade a otubi say we say no or you professional wa beg you wo seek for job no mo ne ade ade ba ansa na ne sabeka job no mo mpedifo no mo pese mo ne da say the odi kaka de say you know e be den a stop it because the moment stop no the moment say nyoma we say no e be kokoso no obo say ni panel to me coffee ma matete stories bi obi to be coffee pa no akofa aduro no wamu akofa aduro ku no ho ni ade no obi won say obi a no won ko school a won nim adwuma no mu kura no wanya adwuma no because pay mo no e den ada
asa o question nye fe oba no ko school kura obenya ne grace kura no ye na da all the answer and onya ne grace always say abontin enti okita the trump card na ase university for asa no be degree kura no yawe no na dance
about for we empedifo no your money
enti na obremu o man adwuma say ye di ba na ye di kwa
enti that just a continuous assessment
your friend no Umaru Diko Umaru Diko say ye di ko
enti enya dia betwa
no you see let me say something. If any institution or system will work, it depends on the leader. At UT, we had a HR policy. So you do not make amorous approaches to any staff because we are creating a family.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's a family there. Uphobia, incest. Now, when I put that policy in place, it means that I will never sleep with any UT staff because I'm not above the law.
Okay.
And I did not sleep with one who's over.
Come up. I
did not sleep with one.
Now you select your money. For interviews.
And then, you know, me man even send I am a young sukakra. I discipline myself for the sake of the company.
But where can it be found?
And they been found me you already.
Upeni for the be no found.
Nipa be say 5. I could prove say one that me you already.
Because when you
See,
be
the reason why I put that policy in place is that just as you are saying, Obana Pejuma Kra, when you're looking, if I bear training better answer.
yeah.
Onya Pejuma Munswa, appraiser, promotion, near the because they are not sleeping with them or because they are sleeping with them, then that determines it. And I had to eradicate that from the system, and it was done. So maybe we are number one tier there. But since you know the company policy HB, the lady can say it's a master passion measurement and the man can't force it because you know, so everything starts with the leadership. The corruption, everything which is in Ghana made me stop is from the leadership. I mean, listen, I can go on about one thing which irritates me most of the time is the way we don't keep time
To work.
To every place.
Okay.
This can be changed by the president in a day. Within 2 weeks, Ghanaians will respect time.
Catch me.
If the president keeps all appointments on time, and he sanctions his ministers who don't report on time for meetings or whatever, and then and holds them responsible to make sure someone subordinates are reporting on time, it will be solved. But we have a situation where the minister or the president, in this case, is late about 2 hours. And I'm saying this on authority. Because Kaise or him be answer the national anthem or President Bufuye.
Yeah.
Or him apologize, but in his apology, can I say apology or say, or better now 2 hours as a president. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
So 2 hours now, one man gathering in our transit.
Not so what they drew so.
Exactly. You know, but if the president will be there on time and insist that things move on time, the ministers make sure this will stop. And yet they're thing. And then when we appoint people, we don't hold them accountable for anything. Take passport office, for example. As a guru boys need doing that. We have a system in place. You know, as a head of passport, how long will it take for you to give every Ghanaian who apply for a passport? On Kasebe 2 months or 1 month. Put it out there. The Ghana need be 2 months or 1 month. Who apply when you have a passport? If that's adhered to, I don't know how to line for him. I could to a boy. If it's not adhered to, not say head to not say 2 months or 10, obey ready because mandate the man one fulfill. It's a matter of applying the system, the processes, and yes, me office ni, yes, me pastor ni. There be we are all supposed to be respected equally, but not African leaders, not African. In fact, the people who are being led, grant say opinion the OCC system. So you try respecting the people down there. When you want to love them and respect them, you have a problem. That is why I come back to this Speaker of Village Foundation. You should know the people you are leading.
Yeah.
You should know their aspirations and you should know their traditions and culture and everything. Because if you come with a normal caring for them and trying to develop them and loving them and things, you will fail because they will not respond the way you expect normal human beings to respond.
Nice.
So we have a huge problem.
Problem we said, yeah, I just said Radiba. Said you can idea Angovi Chide Raziba because obey show papa Abusia
developed. And we had to infect the other bank with the same culture, which was almost impossible to do. They wouldn't change. Or UT4 was suspicious of the BPI staff. The BPI staff were also suspicious. It used to be us and them all alone. And I tried hard to merge the two so we have one culture. What worsened the case was that we also had, because we didn't have bankers, not bankers.
Okay.
So then we had to actually recruit bankers from almost all the other banks. Some came from Access Bank, UBA, Stanchart, wherever. Okay. And when they came, because they were top bankers, they were sitting on top of all the departments. So all of a sudden there's a gap between me and my normal staff, because they came in between with their cultures. You understand what I'm saying? To want to own culture, not ever share culture and spoil the culture. And then, of course, because we had also changed the processes first, and now with this kind of amount for this time we have to do relationship banking and a whole lot of things, which is not the same. So long story short, what happened was that clients started defaulting on TSCAN. And some of the staff will collude with the client.
Oh yeah?
I know someone. What about how to be a fifty or the kind of who craft if you are friends or maybe kind of boss. I said, Scott, they'll be here into there. Manka Krebina there, na fight. And all sort of things that happened.
And your workers now,
the workers, but the workers, staff colluding with the. And then we also had problems with the energy sector because the government wasn't paying the foreign component and all sort of things, and we were doing collateral management and all sort of. So the net effect is that we started making serious losses. So we couldn't pay dividend in 2014, and then 2015 it was even worse. Bank of Ghana asked us to write off some loans. We write off, virtually the bank has to recapitalize, but we did. And we put together restructuring plan for the bank to capitalize it, to improve on the collections, to get cheaper deposits, to have a look at the risk management and all sort of things. And we shared it with Bank of Ghana that this is what we're going to do. So part of it was that we had to find more capital.
Okay.
And we were talking to Bank of Ghana about it. Now, so when this government came to be, well, we had already started the negotiations with the bank, and we're seeing them all the time. We had firmed up the reconstruction plan.
A year government?
AMPP.
Okay.
AMPP government.
Okay.
So I personally was surprised that they took a decision to just close the bank without even informing us.
Because, just like that?
Because bank here closing the same nearby, I was saying, watch it, I mean, so the issue is, whilst we're discussing with Bank of Ghana, at some point they had decided that they will not go on with the discussion, and they were going to close the bank. But they didn't make it known to us. The way the bank was closed, I'm sure Fifi, you heard about it. And Opahemachi, before 6, not police for any media for I call Yebubu UT signages into Senia. Bosumbia, Yachin Serbia, Akofo Obiri. And that's not the way to close it. And that is what happened. Now, incident is interesting enough. Number me to me. Weekend, my weekend as normal. Me saw a permanent. Me sorry, by 7:30. Maybe my buffer, my very CNN and Kakra. And this is started 6 o'clock. So the news was everywhere.
Everywhere.
Me nkwa na mente.
Abra wonni mukura.
So then it was when I put on my phone and who said,
calls.
I have about 60 something calls. I read. Then I called my daughter and said, why is the whole world looking for me? No, I say, maintain news. I'm saying, I'm sorry. No, I say, listen to any station. Now, government has taken over UT Bank. So, true, I turned on the radio and it was the main news item. So I dressed up and drove to Accra to come and meet Bank of Ghana for say why that action and what do they have. They seen there rather I was taken to court for investigation at Yoko, and then they took my passport and then they processed my documents for court, and I'm in court.
I see how that's all.
That's what court Tuesday make a court.
Wow. And then the Dabonten say yes, so best friend. NMA or bank no cry a collapse here.
Mainly hard facts, but it's interesting because these are so-called Achim people, and I'm an Achim man. And I was friends with all of them. So for them to come to power and do what they did without even consulting the Kofi Bertrand, say, lose how your bank is going bad and, you know, whatever. Utim say personal hatred or an agenda to have their own against me for whatever it is that I did. That is quite obvious.
I was up for na just Collins Cargo Shipping Services na SES ne medjumedi we say Ebrom Pacho. So shipping your man e fi China Ghana. Na who company afa ho to omo so de no Collins Cargo Shipping Services me Pacho. Oni ma no say efa wiem efa nsos no betimi abedru asomdwe mu adiama enyera efa we bone bia enkodin sabone bia mu etime Pacho. For mo numbers no e was screen no so afin so oh obetimi afọ mo numbers no osmo mo keke an factory crowd koto woni ma no e di free no wakoto no direct original affordable na omo ahyepe wade e di abronti for mo numbers no screen so na eni omo endi enkomo I was for me that is how GhPage na wo hwem ko so GhPage TV medin no eye Abina Gold.